Imagine getting arrested for stepping on money, fined for building a sandcastle, or jailed for chewing gum. Sound ridiculous? These are all real laws, enforced right now in countries around the world. Every nation has laws designed to maintain order and protect citizens. But some laws are so bizarre, so outdated, or so absurdly specific that you have to wonder, what were they thinking? Today, we're taking you on a global journey through the most mind-bending, head-scratching, and downright weird laws that actually exist, from ancient regulations nobody bothered to repeal to modern rules that defy all logic. These aren't urban legends or internet myths. These are legitimate laws that can get you arrested, fined, or deported if you're not careful. Welcome to the strangest laws around the world. This video is for educational purposes and does not constitute legal advice. Let's dive into the legal absurdity. Strange law number 1. Thailand. Stepping on currency is a crime. We start in Thailand, where disrespecting money isn't just rude, it's a serious criminal offense. Under Thailand's lèse-majesté laws, it's illegal to step on, tear, or otherwise disrespect Thai currency. Why? Because the king's image appears on every banknote and coin. The punishment? Up to 15 years in prison. This isn't theoretical. Tourists have been arrested and prosecuted for accidentally stepping on fallen money or making jokes involving currency. The legal principle behind this is protecting the dignity of the monarchy. In Thailand, any insult to the royal family, even indirect ones through currency, is a grave offense. Here's where it gets tricky for foreigners. What seems like a harmless act in your home country could land you in a Thai prison. Crumpling a banknote in frustration? Potentially criminal. Using money to prop up a wobbly table? You're risking prosecution. In Thailand, even your feet, considered the lowest and least respectful part of the body, touching money can create legal problems. Strange? Absolutely. But the law doesn't care about your cultural perspective. Only compliance matters. Strange law number 2. Singapore. Ban chewing gum. Next stop, Singapore, where chewing gum isn't just frowned upon, it's largely illegal. Since 1992, Singapore has banned the import and sale of chewing gum, with narrow exceptions for dental or medical purposes requiring a prescription. The penalty for smuggling gum into the country? Fines up to $100,000 and up to 2 years imprisonment. Why this extreme measure? Singapore's government determined that improperly disposed gum was creating maintenance nightmares, stuck on sidewalks, inside subway doors, on public infrastructure. The solution? Ban it entirely. This reflects Singapore's broader legal philosophy: zero tolerance for anything that compromises cleanliness and public order. Here's the legal nuance. Possessing gum for personal use after bringing it from another country exists in a gray area. The law primarily targets sale and import. Medical or dental gum is permitted, but you need documentation proving therapeutic necessity. Recreational gum? Absolutely not. Singapore's approach demonstrates how laws can prioritize collective cleanliness over individual freedoms that most countries take for granted. Before you mock this law, consider Singapore is one of the cleanest cities on earth. The law works even if it seems absurd to outsiders. Strange law number 3. Italy. No sandcastles on beaches. To Italy, where building sandcastles on certain beaches is actually illegal. Various Italian coastal towns have ordinances prohibiting sandcastles, claiming they obstruct public beaches or create safety hazards. Fees range from 25 to 200 euros for violators. Enforcement varies. Some areas strictly penalize this, others ignore it. The legal justification? Beach regulations aimed at maintaining cleanliness, preventing obstruction, and ensuring equal access to public spaces. Similar Italian beach laws ban bringing your own food, prohibit unauthorized umbrellas, and restrict games like beach tennis. These laws reflect Italy's approach to regulating public spaces, comprehensive rules aimed at order and commercial interests. To tourists, being fined for building a sandcastle seems absurd. To local authorities, it's about maintaining beach standards and supporting local businesses. Italy also has laws restricting where you can eat lunch, what you can wear in certain towns, and even feeding pigeons. The legal philosophy? Public spaces require strict regulation to balance tourism, local life, and preservation. What seems like childhood fun might be, legally speaking, unauthorized beach modification. Strange law number 4. Switzerland. No flushing toilets after 10 p.m. Now to Switzerland, where noise ordinances reach extreme levels. In many apartment buildings, flushing toilets after 10 p.m. is legally prohibited. This isn't a national law, but rather local regulations and building codes designed to prevent noise disturbances. Switzerland takes quiet hours very seriously. The legal enforcement? Neighbors can file complaints, landlords can impose fines, and repeat offenders can face eviction. Other Swiss noise restrictions include no showering after 10 p.m. in some buildings, no washing cars on Sundays, restricted lawn mowing hours, and even regulations on when you can recycle glass bottles. Why such extreme measures? Swiss culture highly values privacy, peace, and respect for neighbors. The legal system reflects these cultural priorities. For foreigners, this creates culture shock. The idea that using your bathroom could violate the law seems absurd, but Swiss residents view it as basic courtesy encoded into enforceable rules. The legal principle is balancing individual freedom with collective comfort. Switzerland weighs that balance heavily towards collective peace. This demonstrates how laws aren't just about safety or morality, they're expressions of cultural values. Strange law number 5. France, naming a pig Napoleon. Across to Europe, where France has an old law that's both hilarious and legally fascinating. It's allegedly illegal to name a pig Napoleon. Now, here's the truth. This law's current enforceability is debatable. It stems from 19th century regulations protecting the dignity of Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. While this specific prohibition isn't actively enforced today, France does have laws against defaming historical figures and insulting national symbols in certain contexts. The broader legal principle? Many countries have laws protecting national heroes or historical figures from mockery or disrespect. Turkey has similar laws protecting Ataturk's memory. Thailand protects the monarchy. Various nations criminalize mockery of national flags or founding fathers. What makes these laws strange to outsiders is the collision between free speech expectations and legal reverence for historical figures. The Napoleon Pig Law represents a broader category, laws that made perfect sense in their historical context but seem absurd today. Yet many remain on the books, unenforced but technically valid, until someone decides to prosecute. Strange law number 6, Japan, dancing in clubs after midnight. To Japan, where recently, dancing after midnight in clubs was actually illegal without special licensing. The Fueho Law, enacted in 1948, prohibited dancing in venues without specific permits. The law was designed to combat post-war prostitution in dance halls. For decades, this created absurd situations, nightclubs operating illegally, police raids on venues where people were simply dancing. In 2015, the law was reformed after massive public outcry. Dancing is now more broadly permitted, though restrictions still exist. What makes this legally fascinating is how laws can outlive their original purpose by decades. The dancing law made sense in 1948's social context. By 2015, it was simply bureaucratic absurdity. This happens globally. Laws addressing historical problems remain enforceable long after those problems disappear. Technology, social norms, and culture evolve rapidly. Legal codes, they change slowly. Japan's dancing law teaches us that legal systems can lag behind society, creating situations where normal behavior becomes technically criminal. Strange law number 7, Denmark, checking under your car for children. In Denmark, drivers are legally required to check under their vehicle for sleeping children before starting the engine. Yes, you read that correctly. Before driving, you must physically check underneath your car for children who might be napping there. This law emerged from historical concerns about children playing or sleeping under parked vehicles in an era where supervision was less stringent. Is it enforced today? Rarely, if ever, but it remains legally valid. The practical absurdity is obvious. Modern parents don't let children sleep under cars. Vehicle design has changed. Social norms have evolved. Yet the law persists, representing well-intentioned safety regulation that outlived its context. It raises a question: should laws automatically expire if not enforced for extended periods? Some legal scholars argue yes, that dead laws create confusion and undermine legal authority. Others argue they're harmless historical curiosities. Strange law number 8, Canada. No paying with too many coins. In Canada, you legally cannot pay for items using excessive amounts of coins. The Currency Act limits how many coins can be used in a single transaction. $40 maximum in $2 coins, $25 maximum in $1 coins, $10 maximum in quarters or dimes, $5 maximum in nickels, 25 cents maximum in pennies. Exceed these limits, the seller can legally refuse your payment. Why? To prevent malicious or impractical payments that burden businesses. Imagine someone paying a $500 bill with pennies. That's 50,000 coins. This law creates practical limits on legal tender, balancing the right to use currency with the burden on recipients. Similar laws exist in other countries. The European Union has comparable restrictions. The legal principle? Legal tender doesn't mean unlimited tender. Reasonable restrictions on payment methods are legally permissible. Try paying your parking ticket with a bucket of nickels, and you'll discover legal tender has limits. Strange Law 9. Australia, taxi drivers must carry hay bales. Down to Australia, where outdated laws create bizarre requirements. In some states, taxi drivers are technically required to carry a bale of hay in their vehicle. This law dates back to when taxis were horse-drawn carriages. The hay was for feeding the horses. The law was never formally repealed when taxis became motorized. Enforcement? Non-existent. No modern taxi driver carries hay, and no one has been prosecuted for this violation in over a century. Australia has numerous similar defunct laws. It's technically illegal to wear hot pink pants after midday Sunday in some areas. You cannot dress as Batman in certain jurisdictions. These laws illustrate legal inertia, the tendency for old regulations to remain in law books indefinitely, because repealing them requires legislative effort nobody prioritizes. Most countries have hundreds or thousands of such dead-letter laws, technically valid but completely ignored. The legal danger? In theory, these laws could be enforced. In practice, courts would likely dismiss such cases as absurd. But the laws remain, creating legal curiosities and reminders that legal systems are human creations, sometimes logical, sometimes absurd, always imperfect. They're created by people responding to specific problems in specific times. What seems bizarre to us made sense to someone somewhere at some point. And who knows, laws we consider normal today might seem equally ridiculous to future generations. Which of these laws shocked you most? Are there bizarre laws in your country we didn't cover? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible legal knowledge from around the world. Thanks for watching. Stay legally curious.